It is amazing of what you can find on Twitter when you're just scrolling through. So I ended up going onto the trending page on my Twitter account, and I came across this part right here. Now before I get to the person on the left, because this is who's going to be the focal point, but the picture on the right is going to be the reasoning as to why. Now, I never did a video about it, but basically what happened in the picture on the right was you had that man that was on the platform eating a sandwich, and then they came, and when I say they, I'm talking about the police, and I believe this happened out of California on that BART train system. It seems like a lot of stuff happened to black people in that area right there. But they arrested him because they said he was eating a sandwich on the platform. Like, again, messing with melanated people for no reason, for no logical reason anyway. And the video had went viral. And it's crazy because when they took him downstairs to, I guess, try to put him in the police cruiser or put him wherever they were going to take him, you walk past a whole bunch of food spots that are right there near the platform where he was eating, or right in that vicinity. And I think other people were eating as well, or maybe it was a protest when people came back and they decided to bring food with them and eat on that platform, I guess, to slap back in the face of the people that arrested him. That segues us into the picture that's on the left. Now, I had no idea who though in the world this person was. And before y'all say it, this is not a guy. This is definitely a woman. And she's probably a part of the Alphabet Academy. I wouldn't be surprised. And as you can see, she's clearly Asian. Her name is Amber Liu. And apparently she's one of those, I don't know if she's like one of those K-pop artists or whatever. And you know, those K-pop is those Koreans or those Asians that dive into hip hop culture or a lot of black culture and then kind of twist it up to make it their own. It's become very popular over the last maybe 10 years. Anyway, the reason why I'm talking about her today and I have these pictures side by side is because she went on to this YouTube channel called Just Kidding News, and they were talking about this incident right here. And the words that she said, she got a lot of backlash from black people. So, basically she was responding to this video. She said, and these were her words, "He deserved it. I think he just deserved it because he's being super disrespectful, and you don't have to act like that toward a police officer. A police officer is still a police officer. You should still show some type of respect. Know your rights, but show some type of respect." Those were her words. This is why we have no friends. This is why we have no allies. And I don't know if y'all recently heard, but Jason Black just did a video involving another Asian, a woman by the name of Tiffany Lee, who murdered the father of her children because he wanted to get his children away from her. I guess he wanted to get custody of the children, but that's a testament to how crazy she probably is. But she had him killed. And not even by two Asian men. She had him killed by one obviously black guy, and the other one is a question mark above him. So I'm going to just mark him under ethnically ambiguous. And, you know, this woman had a $35 million bail or bond, and that thing was paid off in full. They said it was from, you know, she had wealthy friends and other things like that, because I believe that she comes from a family that has good stock. And when I say good stock, I'm talking about wealthy. So that 35 million apparently was nothing to her. And the guy's name was Keith Green. I could tell he had some black in him. He looked like he could have had something else as well, but you could definitely tell that one of the parents that he had was definitely indeed black. And she had him killed. They said single gunshot wound to the head. She was found. She admitted it. She admitted that she plotted to have him killed. And then it just came out that she was found not guilty in so many words, and I think it was because of a hung jury. Don't quote me on that. So she basically just walked away from this unscathed. It reminds me of the Latasha Harlins situation back in the 90s. So I had to step away right quick. But anyway, I was talking about Latasha Harlins. Yes. So back in the early 90s, I believe it was 1991, you had that Asian store owner, I forget her name, who alleged that Latasha Harlins was stealing I think was a bag of chips from the store. And then when Latasha Hollins was getting ready to walk out of the store, she pulled the gun from behind the counter and shot her once in the back of the head. Went to trial, found not guilty. And then that was one of the things that right there that led to the riot that happened in LA back around that time. So you see it's continuing to happen. And of course, Peter Liang over in New York with Akai Gurley and him walking away from that as well. All instances that I just mentioned involved black people. You had a black girl and 2 black men. So you're starting to see where I'm going with this. That's why Jason Black titled the video Asian Supremacy. But she came back and she wrote a response, or I guess in her way, an apology. And it reads, "I am so sorry. I saw a video clip made an ignorant snap judgment, and I majorly messed up. It was my fault for not being more aware of how the systemic racism in the United States has continued and gotten worse while I spent the last 10 years overseas." So she's not even here. Or at least she's not here on a more consistent basis. So let me continue. "I 100% do not stand for racism and discrimination. It angers me that he was singled out because of the color of his skin. It is completely unjust, and I am sorry for not seeing the whole situation and jumping to conclusion. I am sorry for hurting you guys. I've always stood for equality. I've always stood for love. I believe in hashtag Black Lives Matter, and I'm so sorry. I've negatively affected so many people because of my ignorance, and I will continue to educate myself in this matter." She can keep that so-called apology. And you want to know what's so crazy? She didn't even ask for forgiveness. Not that I'd give it to her anyway. But what I really thought was interesting was when I was looking through the comments, and because she's Asian, she has a lot of Asian supporters. A lot of people that identify themselves as Asian, or you can look at them and clearly tell that they are, actually says something that we either have been saying or need to be saying more of. I will give them this. They say, well, it's up to black people to want to forgive you, or, to want to say that they forgive you. You can't force it out of them. Even with this statement, because like she said herself, she made a snap judgment and she hasn't been here for the last 10 years. So she says, so she wouldn't know. She's only going based off of what is seen. But this also is another thing. This is the way a lot of foreigners look down or frown upon black Americans in particular when stuff like this happens with the police, because in their mind, especially with how the media has played them up, that the police are just always in the right. They're never wrong. Even when they do stuff like this, when they see something like this, they make, like she says, a snap judgment and assume that we are the ones that cause the police to act erratic or act the way that they do towards us. But notice it's only towards us. So then that also puts in their mind that we are the savages that the media speaks of. Meanwhile, I wonder what she would have to say about a lot of these mass shootings that are committed by mainly palm-colored individuals, specifically the males. But it also makes you wonder, too. A lot of police brutality videos have gone viral even more insanely than this one, or discriminatory videos involving the police. It makes you wonder, what was her call on those videos where someone most likely ended up beaten, or worse, ended up dead? Did she have that same kind of judgment then? Remember, she said she's been overseas for 10 years. So you're talking about from here to 2009 going back. A lot has happened in those last 10 years. So it makes you wonder, what does she have to say about this? It's just that on this instance right here, she actually was vocal about it, and people actually were able to hear what she said in this particular video. And to be honest, the fact that she said she made a snap judgment about this means that that was already planted in her mind. In her head, this guy was wrong. She was not ready to even give him one shred of a benefit of a doubt that he could have been accosted wrongfully. Because that's how many of them think. And not just people like her, but a lot of people, even some of our own, are quick to judge and think that we are just inherently bad because that's what mainstream media has been putting out about black people for decades. And it's a brainwashing technique. Like I said, once I said physical enslavement is one thing, mental enslavement is a whole nother monster. And that's that monster that literally has devoured the minds of many globally for eons. The media is one of the most powerful tools and one of the most powerful brainwashing tools in the world. As you can see right here, because like I said, she's overseas judging something from in the East for something that's going on way over in the West, literally all the way in the West, as far as West as you can get. But I just wanted to bring this story to y'all. It was kind of random at first because I didn't know who this chick was, but when I saw what she had said and what she was talking about, I said, let me just go ahead and bring it up. But like I said, we have no friends. We have no allies. All we have is each other at the end of the day. And even within some of our own, we still don't have any allies because some of our own are trash. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next one.